Good evening, everybody. Friends, today's class is on education, and it's a general class for all the students and all the people who studies education or who do have the concern of education very much well. Friends, being a teacher of education as well as a person of education, I do have the experience of working in different institutes. I work as a teacher of a postgraduate institute of teachers training, then for joining as a principal of a college, and being the author of some of the important books of education. I do have some of the experiences, and depending on the collected experiences today, myself is here to before you to express my views regarding education with the help of the ideas and definitions which were being forwarded by some of the reputed educationists of the world. Friends, you know the basic concept of education very much well because from your higher secondary level up till now you are studying education. Still, as a social science or as one of the important subjects of social science, the concept of education has been changing so much rapidly, and that's why you are to review and renew your ideas concerning to education. And we are to study the root of the term education, and once we do it, we see that the term is being derived from Latin verb educare, and the term educare carries diverse or different meanings such as to train or to instruct, to put in, to lead out, or to develop and to draw out, etc. Thus, esteemed student friends, the term education carries different meanings in different situations, and it's a in general perception, it's a process of teaching a particular skill for the development of a particular type of behavior. And this is the basic concern of education, means we are to help our students form a particular behavior so that they can face life situation successfully. Education is also treated as a process of imparting instruction once it is discussed from the parameter of institutional education or from institutional setting. As instruction means teaching or imparting information of a fact or situation, education from this point of view is a process of teaching or offering information of a fact or a situation. Education, as you know, is also treated as a process of development. It helps to develop all innate or original or inborn capabilities of you people or of all the students, of human being or human child. With the help of the development of personality, the human child becomes ready to face life courageously or boldly. So, our prime concern of life is to face every situation successfully, courageously, without any doubt, without committing any mistake or error. And for this purpose, we need education, and as life is going on, we are to review education, we are to renew it. Education makes us fit to face all changes and challenges of life. It helps us to face life situations which are changing very much rapidly, and with the modification of our education or stock of knowledge, we enhance our education, we uplift the level of education, and we face our life. Education from this point of view of globalization. Today, you people or all of we are living in a globalized world. So in such situation, in globalized social order or in this globalized social setting, education, whenever we are to define it, is a strong means of economic sense and prosperity. It's the means of change of economic aspect of life as well as economic uplift of society of a nation. Globalization, whenever we see, or you are to define globalization, friends, you are to say in this way that it's in a sense, a spirit of making business relationship among the nations of the globe very strong. It is a universal formula relating to world economy. Though globalization is discussed from the economic point of views, it has specific impact on the political, social, cultural, etc. dimensions of national lives of the nations. Esteemed colleagues and listeners, as economic aspect is the main aspect of or aspect to determine the level of progress, so it has close link with all the other aspects of a society or a nation. Therefore, education from the point of view is one of the strongest means of maintaining global relationship among the nations of the world. So it's a very important process for maintaining relationship among all the nations of the world. It helps to keep interconnection among the nations, not only in business parameter, in business area, for the uplift of economic situation of society, but also for the uplift of all other areas of our life. Friends, education makes human labor force fit to work as per the demand of the changed economic pattern of the countries. Education is one of the important means of development of human resources of society. So, again, whenever we are to define it, we are to say education helps to make man real human capital for increasing productivity. Education makes man the productive force of the human society, with the help of which human individuals become real economic assets. Education makes human individual fit to take part in all activities successfully for dynamic transformation of life situations, and thereby society at large. So we uplift our social order with the help of education. We help to develop our economic conditions with the help of education. Transformation of life situation is in positive direction, helps to change all social forces for change in grand scale. The new developments that have resulted in the economic relationship in the name of globalization have brought many changes to the field of education, and as a result of this, concept of education has gradually begun to change. Friends, in this globalized social order or world order, education and productivity have been linked very closely by all the nations, all the experts of modern times, and definition of education has also been forwarded from economic point of view. So without the consideration of economic uplift, we never can see education, we never can define education in this globalized social order. Anyway, it's a process of social transformation, it's a process of development of all the human attributes or capabilities. It's a process of development of human personality in totality, so as to face all the challenges of our life, so as to contribute our own part for the uplift of human social order as well as the global social order. Friends, today we are to define education from Indian perspective. There are two perspectives once we are to define education, and these two perspectives are, one is Indian perspective and the other is Western perspective. Eastern and Western perspectives both are to some extent different, and once we come to our own area, particularly Eastern parameter or perspective to define education, then first of all we must have to go back to the Vedas, particularly Rig Veda. You know very much well that there are 4 Vedas, and the Vedas are the scripture of the Hindus, which revealed by Brahma and afterwards reduced to writing by Vyasa. The Veda was divided by him into three parts. First of all, that is Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sham Veda, and last Atharva Veda we got it. So Rig Veda defines education as education is something which makes a man self-reliant and selfless. So it's a process of development of all human attributes so that human individual means you all become fit for self, dependence, and you can become selfless for the good being of human society and human life. Thenceforth, whenever we come to Upanishad, we see a little bit, different views. And once you ask me, what does Upanishad mean? Then we must have to say that Upanishad, it is Vedanta philosophy, the argumentative part of the Vedas. Argumentative part of the Vedas means the four Vedas I just have mentioned. So, instead of going to the deeper part of the origin of Upanishad, we should better discuss the concept of education from the viewpoint of the Upanishads. Upanishads define education as it is that whose end and product is salvation. Salvation has special importance importance whenever you discuss your life or the value of your life from Indian perspective or parameter. So, Upanishad defines education as a means of salvation. And thenceforth, whenever you go back to Panini, you will see that Panini defines education as human education means the training which one gets from nature. So, the training which we acquire from natural world or going back to nature, it's education. And once the term nature comes, then we must have to go back again to that great French educationist and natural philosophers, Rousseau, who said that we basically learn from three most important things or teachers, that is, man, things, and the matter or the world. We learn from men, we learn from things, and then after we learn in totality from nature. So, Upanishad discussed that way, or Panini also put importance on the development or on the enhancement or on the uplift of the training, which is, basically concerned with natural capabilities or with nature. Thenceforth, Kautilya, very much, he was a famous teacher, ancient teacher. He was a philosopher, and Kautilya, he was the chief advisor or prime minister of the Indian Emperor Chandragupta, the first ruler of the Maurya Empire. Kautilya discussed education. He defined it as to be the means of training for the country and love for the nation. Means it is so important that education is the means of training for your own country and for the development of love and affection for your own nature. Again, whenever you come back to Shankaracharya, then you will see that he defined education as it's a process of realization of the self. Self-realization is the prime concern of education, and it has link with Indian philosophical perspectives or Indian philosophy. Self-realization is one of the important aims of education. And thenceforth, if you go back to Nanaka, means Guru Nanaka, Nanaka defined education. Education is self-realization and the service of the people. Service of the people and the self-realization. This is the most important time when this, definition of education of Nanaka has, become much more important after or in this phase, critical phase of human civilization, particularly in the post-COVID-19 phase, because we are to stand behind each other, and service to people has become the prime concern of our life. And Nanaka during that time said that it's a process with the help of which we can realize ourselves, our importance in this universe, and we can dedicate our life towards the service of human society and human life. Thenceforth, if you come back to Dayananda, then you will see that as per the perception of Dayananda, education is a means for character formation, and righteous living. Righteous living, it's a good living, right living, living depending on the right way, right parameter. Dayananda explains education that way. And once we from Dayananda come back to Vivekananda, you know very much well Vivekananda. And Vivekananda, during that time, you see, encouraged the young population or young segment of Indian society that the future of this country is in the hand of the young population or young people. Vivekananda had, you see, profound love towards the perfection of human inner self. And that's why Vivekananda said education is the manifestation of perfection already in man. Means for Vivekananda, man is always perfect. Man is born perfect. And the basic concern of education is to help to manifest the perfect qualities which every human being, means all of you, acquire by birth. You know, friends, very much well that our capabilities are genetically transmitted from one generation to the next one. So genetically we are perfect. We are born perfect. But the prime concern of our life and the prime duty of education is to help to develop all the perfect qualities so that human life becomes or living becomes so much perfect, and man learns to live for the benefit, for the good of man, for the good of own country, for the good of own society, as well as for the good of human society as a whole, global social order as a whole. Thenceforth, whenever from Vivekananda you come back to Gandhi, you know so much, you very much well, you know Gandhi, and he is one of the most important social leader, and Gandhi become very much relevant in this century. Even the American president, you see Barack Obama, you know very much well, whenever he took the charge as the president of the United States of America, he worshipped Gandhi, and there was the portrait of Gandhi in his own chamber. And see, Barack Obama had profound love towards Gandhi because he knew Gandhi, he understood Gandhi so much well. And Gandhi, at the time of defining education, he said, I like to quote before you so that regarding the concept of education, your ideas become so much clear. Gandhi said, I quote, by education I do mean an all-round drawing out of the best inside in man, body, mind, and spirit. Means Gandhi insisted on the process of drawing out of the internal capabilities or capacities to the external parameter. It's a process to draw out, to take out the internal capabilities. Means we are born with some important qualities and capabilities, and the prime concern of education as per Gandhi is to draw out all the base potentialities in three aspects. Means in body, means your body should be quite sound. Physical development is very much important. Then so that is why it is said that education is a process of development of all the physical capabilities. Then mind is a process of development of mental capabilities and qualities. And spiritual development has special importance. And now you certainly have realized the importance of your spiritual capabilities and qualities in this critical juncture of human civilization. Everything is being surrendered before the tiniest virus, that is COVID-19, or that small virus which has threatened the whole global social order. So friends, spiritual, we are going to be spiritual. We are going to, you see, take the help of yoga for our survival. All the weapons, all the means have failed. Simply social distancing has become the most important weapons for the survival of human individual as well as human society. We are to stand behind each other so that we can exist, at least so that we do not die in the hand of the attack of the tiniest, you see, virus, that is COVID-19. So Gandhi put importance on the development of all the capabilities, particularly in three segments of our personality. That is, by education, I do mean an all-round drawing out of the best is to be drawn out in body, in mind, and in spirit. Thenceforth, if you come back to Aurobindo, Rishi Aurobindo, you will come to know he was a visionary poet, and he was an Indian nationalist who propounded the philosophy of cosmic salvation through spiritual evolution. And Aurobindo said, he defined education, it is the process which has been helping, or which is to help the growing soul to draw out that is in itself. Means education is helping the growing soul to draw out that is in itself. Last, then after, whenever you come to Radhakrishnan, you know very much well. Radhakrishnan, he was one of the famous Indian philosopher, and he was well known to the global community for his philosophical ideals. And Radhakrishnan defined education. Education, to be complete, must be human. It must include not only the training of the intellect, but the refinement of the heart and the discipline of the spirit. No education can be regarded as complete if it neglects the heart and spirit. So this is very important. He put importance on the philosophical parameters from philosophical point of view, on the development of all intellectual as well as spiritual capabilities. Again, if you come back to Humayun Kabir, then you will come. Kabir, he was a Hindu poet, a great exponent of the Bhakti movement. Kabir, you know, and once the name of Kabir comes, then you must have to come back to Vaishnavad, means you must have to come back to Shankaradeva, because there is relevance from Kabir also. The trend of Vaishnavism came to this part of Northeast India, means Kabir's philosophy influenced Shankaradeva, and Shankaradev's philosophy also influenced Kabir's ideologies or the post-Kabirians. So friends, for Kabir, education is a dynamic process which in its totality changes with the changing situations and the developing circumstances. And thenceforth, coming to the first Prime Minister of India, that is Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, you know him as the first Prime Minister of independent India. He defined education. Education is enabling the individual to be a producer as well as a good citizen. So Nehru emphasized on two aspects, that is the productivity aspect of human individuality, and then thenceforth citizenship capabilities of Indian citizen. And he defined education as which enables us to develop our productive capabilities or productivities, as well as which helps to make us good citizen for taking part in the process of transformation of Indian democratic situation or democratic setting. So friends, we can from different parameters discuss education. It's a very important part of human society, and it is a very much important subject of social science. And being the subject of one of the important subjects of social science, the basic concern of education is the development of all human capabilities, so that human persons or you people become very much important social assets for the transformation of society, as well as for the development of civilization and for the stability and peace of the global social order. And that's why again in the end, coming to the last part of this class, I must have to remember Gandhi, who emphasized on the development of three particular parameters of human personality. And Gandhi, at the time of explaining the content as well as the importance of education, he said, humanity, every individual, you the students must have to learn to coordinate three things: your brain, your heart and hand. Means it's a process. Education is a process which helps us to coordinate our intellectual capabilities of our brain. It helps to coordinate our intellectual capabilities with our feelings, that is heart, and it helps us to use our hands in proper manner, so that we can help to transform our own social order or contribute economically for the transformation of our life. So thank you so much. In our next class, we will certainly discuss about the Western perception of education, Western concept of education, and during that time again we will discuss the Eastern concept again as well as the Western concept, and then after we will come to the concluding remark, what education actually means at this critical point or juncture of human civilization. Thank you so much.